Hello, this is John, host of MGTOW is Freedom. I've enjoyed making these videos, but I don't think I've made myself clear in a lot of what I'm trying to describe. I don't think women are the enemy. I think there's a philosophy that is the enemy of men, and by extension, the enemy of our culture and our civilization as we know it. People that are adherents, students of, acolytes, lovers of, executors of this philosophy known as feminism, I think are the enemy. And so what I do is I look at them for characteristics. I define people into this group. You're either a feminist or you're not, based on your actions. And so the term feminist doesn't mean only women. The term feminist and feminism can be applied to women and men equally. And if you're not aware of it, there are male feminists. That is, they have certain beliefs which I do not agree with. When I refer to women who are feminists, I call them whores. I call them gold diggers. I call them wretches. I say they're vile harpies and they're vampires, they're parasites. That's not how they're born. They were born as women. And I do not hate women. I do not hate the female of the species. I despise and find despicable the feminist, whether it has a vagina or a penis. Okay? So the reason I'm doing this video is so that it's clear and it's clearly understood on here. Definitions, I think, are very important, because the definitions we give to things tell people how we think. If somebody has a track record of marrying men and divorcing them and taking their wealth, the wealth of the men, then that probably puts them into the class of a feminist. Okay, especially if they behave in person a certain kind of way. I think this has been covered ad nauseum. And I even tried giving a distinguishing difference between gold-digging whores, feminist women, and unicorns. Okay, I think that pretty much fits it. And a couple of guys came on and said, "Nope, John, it's been hashed out and it's been decided that there are no unicorns." I guess you could say that. I don't believe it because I know one. I know one. So they must be real. Now, you could make the argument that the absence of appearance means that it cannot exist and does not. Well, that is false logic. That's a logical fallacy. Just because you don't believe in it or have faith in its existence doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And I don't want to get into a logical fallacy discussion. Okay, but that's the way this works. If you claim to be an intellect, an intelligent, you have to use true logic. You cannot use a logical fallacy. You also have to define words very clearly. I would like it understood that if you go read feminist propaganda and see what they do and see what they promote, you will find out that most women are feminists, whether they know it or not. Because it is not claiming the title that makes you something. It is your behavior. It is your belief system. It is your actions. And it is the words you use. When a woman chooses to openly shame me, to stop me from acting and speaking like a man, then she is a feminist, because that is what feminists believe. They believe they should shame a man and correct his behavior. They believe that they have the authority to do so, the moral authority. That doesn't make them anything other than a feminist. No woman should be able to tell any man how to behave any more than any man can tell any woman how to behave. With the exception of this: if you feel so strongly about something, then you fight someone over it. You can fight with words, or you can fight with your fists, guns, knives, whatever. When a woman chooses to engage a man and correct his behavior, she is engaging in the arena of combat. Typically, women choose words for their arena of combat. That is acting like a man. Men fight in combat. Men spar with each other. Men vie for dominance in a relationship, no matter how small or transient or short-lived that relationship is. That is male behavior. That is masculine behavior. And when a woman, a female, engages in that behavior, she is acting as a feminist. When a woman sees another woman is having a divorce and that woman is taking all of that man's stuff, all that she can, she will say, "You go, girl," and support that woman, support her behavior. I've watched them do this. Now, I'm not saying that a good woman, a unicorn, cannot get divorced and be lawfully entitled to her share of the community property. What I'm saying is that when the woman goes, "I'm taking him for all he is, and I'm taking the kids, and I'm taking everything I can, I'm going to screw him, and my lawyer's going to do this and that," okay, that is not someone who is doing anything other than using feminist belief systems, acting like a feminist, talking like a feminist, right? She's going to punish the man. She's not just dividing the community property. She's going to steal from him as much as she can and use the legal system to do it. That is feminist ideology played out through the legal system. Women use the legal system to fight for them. And they've had clever lawyers come up with clever ways to describe things so that they can feel, or that they can become more entitled to more of a man's life and property. There is no other business arrangement on the planet where the partners split up and one of the partners has to continue to support the other. So it's not business law, it's some other kind of law. But when a woman does that and takes more than 50%, she is a feminist. When another woman supports her and gets behind her and says, "Yeah, you go, girl, you do that. Take him for all he's worth. Take his kids. Hurt him, hurt him, hurt him." That is feminist. When a woman, any woman says she is the equal of a man, she is a feminist. If a woman says, "I can be strong," that's different than saying, "I'm the equal to a man." No woman is the equal of a man unless she has a penis, and then she's no longer a female. You see what I'm saying? Women are women, and women that believe feminist propaganda are themselves feminists. Women shame other women into becoming feminists by claiming something for feminism that it isn't. As stated earlier, feminists do not even think they are feminists. Just regular, run-of-the-mill females running around, stomping the gas and stomping the brake, stomping their feet, running their shopping carts into shit, dominating relationships. That is all masculine behavior. It is not feminine behavior. It is feminist behavior. But feminism is a chameleon. It hides behind lies, sophistry. Feminism lies behind its own name, feminism. It's assumed the mantle of what a woman should be by claiming that a woman should be masculine. It shouldn't be feminism. It should be female masculism. That is what the philosophy really teaches. Female masculism. And men do participate in feminism, so they should rightly also be called female masculists. because they are fighting for, they are actively engaged in their lives in bringing about the destruction of true female feminism and putting in the cuckoo, the replacement, which is female masculinism. Not only are they doing this psychologically and using indoctrination in schools, they're using our food, chemicals. They have so many female hormones, estrogens, plant estrogens through soy and petroleum-based esters. They're in plastics. They're in our lives everywhere, and they are in our systems. So as men, and in my family especially, we detest anything soy or BPA, anything that would promote the existence or increase the amount of estrogen in our bodies. This is what I think. I think women have so much estrogen in them, and it's fake estrogen, that their own bodies quit producing estrogens, their own natural estrogens, because the body says we've got enough of that. But they're fake estrogens. Women also have an overload of male testosterone, or the male hormone testosterone, because estrogen suppresses testosterone. Real estrogen suppresses testosterone. Fake estrogen does not. So when a woman's body quits producing real estrogen, the body is allowed, the female body allows itself to produce more female-created testosterone, and it builds up in their system. They become more aggressive, more assertive. They become more dominant because they feel that aggression. That is not natural. It is not natural for women to be masculine. These are the problems we have. Women are not built like women anymore. If you look at them, they're starting to look more like men. Their bodies, the development of their hips, the amount of muscle they carry on their frames, and the attitude. I can do what a man can do when they cannot. Women can be strong, women can be smart, women can be a lot of things, females. But that doesn't make them a man's equal. That is feminist propaganda. That is female masculinism. It is not correct. It is not natural. And so we are having unnatural social and cultural problems because of it. We are having unnatural legal problems because of it. Women aren't being told from a very young age that they should be and are allowed to act like men. While men, on the whole, on the average, are getting a lot more estrogen as well. And estrogen puts down that testosterone, right? It suppresses it. That's why you have a bunch of pussies out here. And they are easier to shame. They are weaker. They are less aggressive. And they are, by and large, feminists. So any of you white knights, people that you want to white knight up to me, go ahead. I double dog dare you. I double dog dare you. And you won't. I don't care if there's 2 of you or 5 of you. You just can't do it. Sorry. I know too much already. You cannot hurt me. And feminists, female feminists out there, you can't hurt me. You just can't do it. Okay, here's another key that points to someone who's a feminist. They want to silence the opposition. They want to silence free speech. I am conducting an action called free speech. It is a right of mine. It is a natural birthright. And here I am on this channel talking and giving my opinion. You don't have to listen. You can turn me off anytime you want. No one's hurting you. No crime has been committed. No mala in se. Not even mala in prohibita. I haven't done anything that is prohibited by law. Or statute, rather. Okay? But women want me to shut up. Not real women. Feminist women. That's kind of why I tried doing the unicorn thing. If I call you a unicorn, I'm calling you a natural, normal, feminine woman. If I just say woman, or any of the litany of terrible phrases I use to describe feminists, then I'm describing feminists, okay? Unless I'm specifically speaking about unicorns. Women want to stop free speech. Women do not like me talking to their husbands. Women do not like me talking to their boyfriends. Women do not like me talking to other men, because I tell men, stop taking that shit off of them. Start acting like men. Stop acquiescing. Stop apologizing. I have tons and tons and tons of personal instances where I have run across feminists and argued with them. I argue with them successfully. I put them in their place. I put them in their place. I put them in their place philosophically, practically, socially, and in all ways. That's what men need to do. If you want to be MGTOW, men going their own way and hating everything female, that's fine. It doesn't say men going against women. It's men going their own way, whatever way you choose. Whatever way you choose is MGTOW. Men going their own way. Not men going the way of some other philosopher. Not men going their own way as long as it's agreed upon by 3 out of 5 other YouTube producers. Men going their own way is their own way. So I do not accept anyone else trying to shame me or make me feel like I'm not part of the crowd. I stand on my own 2 feet, gentlemen. And attention all feminists, I don't need anybody to tell me I'm doing it right in order to understand or feel good about myself. I'm sharing my ideas with you so that you can think about them and make your own determinations, so you can choose to go your own way or go the way of feminists. Because that is what men are being pushed to, as well as all women, whether they are feminists or not. They're all continuously being pushed. All of us are being herded like lemmings to the edge. And all too many people are willing to be pushed off the edge with the lemmings in a stampede of ignorance and stupidity. Women, by their very nature, by their physical nature, the fact that they are softer, more docile. By nature, they are more docile than aggressive men. They are easier to convert to feminism. That is exactly why most women are. They're easier to indoctrinate because they don't resist. So they are told to resist to the wiles of feminism. Right? They're told not to resist to feminism, but resist all other things. It's a very clever program. Men who are weak are easy to indoctrinate in the feminist mindset and mentality. They are weak men. Strong men are being pushed along with everyone else, and they are pushing back. The ghosts out there, right, the MGTOW ghost, you've chosen to go your own way, whichever way that is. You're being pushed as well, and if you're going to ghost, you just pretend and you get along. You do your best to keep your head low and you keep your money in your pocket. And I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to starve out the vampires, the parasites. You're trying to starve them out. You're trying to deprive them of the attention they want so badly. Some women want negative attention, some want positive. Some want any attention, some want all the attention. Right? You want to starve them. I understand that philosophy. If that's how you want to approach this, go your own way and do it. I take a more aggressive, masculine approach. I don't go looking for people in my day. They just happen to step in front of me. They happen to try to shame me or try and say something to me that makes them the more dominant. In my work, there's 2 people in my line of work that are equally dominant as me. The rest are not. They have to submit in one form or another. If they want to talk about what their favorite coffee is, I don't have to engage them that way. But if they want to make me their utility, I don't do it. I don't do it. Because feminism is full of hypocrisy. They claim they want equal rights, but they want special rights. They claim, as feminists, that they can do everything a man can, yet they cannot. I see it every day, everywhere I go. Feminists are destroying our culture. They need to be defeated. You can try and starve them. That works. You can approach them when you are approached, or you can reproach them. I don't know what you want to call it. You can put them in their place. You can battle feminism by setting a really good masculine example. That's a great way to do it. Set an example for other men to follow and make them wish that they could be like you and therefore follow you. And through example, pull them up. There's a lot of that going on. Right now, Donald Trump is demonstrating he has a lot of masculine characteristics, and he doesn't give a shit that he calls Hillary a vile woman or whatever the fuck he called her. He's not afraid. They're calling him a misogynist. It's making me laugh. He's just Donald Trump. But I want everyone to understand, feminism is not women. Feminism is a philosophy. Feminism is a program that has been initiated by social engineers. It is part of a grand conspiracy. It's part of a grand conspiracy to destroy the nuclear unit, the family. It is designed to put a wedge between women in general and men in general. It is designed to weaken men and their ability to resist the fight, right? The ability to resist being put in their place. It is designed to weaken them so they can be controlled through guilt and shame, through causing people to and demanding people to conforming to social standards that feminism is choosing for men. Feminism's designs have women, feminist women, infiltrating men's lives so that they can take it over, dominate it, and dominate the men within it. Women who love football, I'm glad you love football. What are you doing there? Conquering other men and cheering them on. That is largely a masculine characteristic. If you're a unicorn and you like football, I would be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked, but I'd be surprised. Sure, you could say that as a feminine, real woman, a unicorn, you enjoy watching men compete with each other because you admire men and their masculine natures. And you love to see the victor, right, do his victor dance in the end zone. You can make that claim, and I could believe that. But the behavior I see women exhibiting is masculine. Wanting to control relationships. Wanting to control the dialogue. When women control the dialogue in a relationship, they control the man. She is acting masculine and is therefore a feminist. It is feminism that revolts me. It is feminism that makes me sick. It is feminism that is sickening our culture and our nation. Feminism has weakened Europe, and now they are dealing with violent Muslims that have moved in. Now I'm going to say, I don't care if you're a nice Muslim. That's great. I'm talking about radical, violent Muslims who are very masculine, by the way, who don't give a shit what the West thinks, what Christians and Catholics think, or Jews. They don't care because they're very masculine. They're hyper masculine. Their culture teaches them to be masculine. And when Muslim women put down men of the West, that makes the Muslim feel good. because he knows his women know their place in their own culture, and they detest their own enemies, these violent Muslims and Muslim women do. They detest Western men because they are feminized, they are weak, they are effeminate, they are emasculated, they are testicleless, and they are run in circles by women. That is why they do not fear men in the West. Europe is overrun with feminism. England, you are not allowed to catcall in many places. You aren't allowed to insult a woman. You aren't allowed to talk down to her or talk at her at all unless she somehow approaches you. In many places, you can have sex with a woman and she can change her mind after the fact, call it rape, and have you arrested. Women can make up lies about men. And all of these women who do that, who make up lies about men to get them in trouble, to make them lose their jobs, to destroy their personal and professional lives, those are feminists. And they typically strike at and attack strong men because they want those strong men destroyed. They know what the fight is about. The fight is about conquering the enemy. That is what all fighting is about. That is the objective. Destroying the enemy. Feminists want to destroy the enemy. The enemy of feminism is masculinity in men. And when men quit acting masculine, they are no longer real men. They are feminists. They are submissives. They are emasculated eunuchs. So attention, all unicorns. You are an endangered species. If you wish there to be more really feminine, real women out there, then you need to start teaching women to be women. You need to start correcting them. You need to start raising your daughters to be women, not female masculists. Or you are going to cease to exist, feminine women, and there'll be nothing left but feminists. You see how the language is so hard to get through? It's hard to get through the language because so much sophistry is used. So much conditioning and indoctrination has been performed. It's a wrestling match to have a conversation with someone about feminism, what it means and what it does. Because men don't want to appear to be radical. Men don't want to appear to be bigots. Because one of the things feminists do, whether male or female, feminists like to use names and labels to identify people. Not merely for the purpose of identification, but for the purpose of shaming and controlling others. They shame and control other women, and they shame and control other men. Men, you need to take the battle to the enemy. The enemy is feminism. That means you need to understand their philosophy and destroy it. You can starve it. You can ignore it. Do everything you can to weaken feminism. Do your part, is all I'm asking. And one of those is to think for yourself. If you are a man going your own way, if you are MGTOW, go your own way. Do what you think is right. And I'll tell you what, when you see women badgering a man, step up for that man. Say something to him. Say something to her. Show that man. Right? If you see a man being berated by a woman, get in her face. If you ever see a man berating a woman, a female, whether she's feminist or a feminist or a unicorn, you don't know, right? But typically a man will go over and step in and say, hey, let's calm things down. What's going on here? How can I help? Right? Let's resolve this nicely. That's what men do when they see other men berating a woman. When you see, women, right, they support each other. Right? They will get in a guy's face, whether he's right or wrong. They don't care. They'll just get after a man. They'll gang up on him. They'll put him in his place, which is a feminist way of saying stop being a man. I'm saying start being a man. Support other men when you see them being put in their place. It's easy to be a feminist. It's easy to give up. It takes less energy. But you lose your humanity as a man. You lose your soul. You become an androgynous figure in life. When a man is feminized, he loses his place. And we talk about putting women who are feminists in their place. We need to define in our minds what it is we're dealing with, the enemy. The enemy is feminism and all of its adherents. And feminism has been introduced into everything that's masculine. It is a virus that destroys. It corrodes, it corrupts, it destroys. It needs to be removed. Feminism is disgusting because it's taken half of the population and more and destroyed it. It's destroying our culture. When you define it in your own mind, define feminism in your own mind so that you can identify it. Start identifying it in everything you see. Social, political, medicine, economics, everywhere feminism exists. It needs to be met and defeated. Because feminism is destroying men. Feminism has almost completely destroyed true women, the unicorns. Right? Maybe there ought to be a a Save the Unicorn Fund, some sort of 501c3 that started to save unicorns, because they are oh so rare. Just a few of them, just a small percentage are left. I don't hate women, I hate feminists. They have a right to live and breathe. They can think what they want, but they're not thinking what they want. They're thinking what others want for them. Feminists are not going their own way. Feminists are going the way that they're told by feminists. That is why Hillary Clinton could destroy women and her husband could abuse women and nobody in the feminist community cared. They thought it was funny to make fun of Paula Jones and Jennifer Flowers and call them all sorts of dirty names because it served feminism. Feminism isn't about women and women's rights. It's about destroying men and entertaining and profiting by and increasing an agenda that is anti-American. It's anti-Christian and Catholic. It's anti-West. It's anti-culture. It is anti-family. It is anti-individualism. Feminism is pro-government. Feminism is pro-destruction of the male. Feminism is for androgyny. Feminism takes its planks from communism. Feminism is evil. It's evil. So if you look at the most radical of feminists, we can say they're evil. Well, what if someone's just a little bit feminism or feminist? They are on their way to being evil. A little poison goes a long way. Does it not? How can you be a little bit of a murderer? That's what we're dealing with here. That is exactly what we're dealing with. The murder of our culture. And to be a little bit feminist is to be a little bit of a murderer, and you're doing your part, if you're a feminist, to destroy and kill our culture, who we are, not only as a nation, but as a species. Define feminism for yourselves. Make your own decisions about it. Go your own way. Do what you will with it. If you choose to be a feminist, do so knowing what it's causing. I hate to see people blindly and ignorantly follow a philosophy and then claim they didn't understand what it was doing. It's asinine. But then again, feminists are asinine. This is John, host of MGTOW is Freedom. Free your mind. Free your mind of feminist propaganda. Define for yourself what feminism is. And decide and choose for yourself what you're going to do about it. Free your mind.